Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chasing Psychological Safety. Ideally, most of you have moved over. If you haven't, please just go to this new channel of ours where we've moved houses, and the Chasing Psychological Safety will be under this one from here on only. Today, we're talking about whether or not psychological safety is hygiene. An interesting topic if you read our article yesterday, because it did look a little bit contentious. Here's a secret: it really isn't. We're good, we believe, and we're quite close to both Amy and Per, the authors of the amazing case study that was being discussed in the article. But the title of it and the premise of the fact that psychological safety is not an hygiene factor, but more to do with high performance and competitive advantage, is what we were debating. And I will gladly be very clear. I think while, yes, we all want to be high performing, and that's what we need psychological safety for, first and foremost. Before we get to the high performance, psychological safety is undoubtedly hygiene and absolutely basal and absolutely part of that first step of the hierarchy of needs, if you wish, when it comes to an organization, if you want that organization to be sustainable in the future. And in particular, these days, when we're looking at the Great Resignation, we're looking at burnouts, we're looking at people in this complete disarray. If you don't think of psychological safety as absolutely necessary at a basal level, where you give people a way to work, and then you give them enough psychological safety and enough agency and empowerment in that team to grow it, then you're probably not going to have much of a company to speak of in the future. So hygiene, without a doubt. But obviously it will increase your performance as well.
Absolutely. And it's been a really interesting couple of days because we've had this conversation out in the open, haven't we? And we have huge respect for Per and for Amy, and we know them, and we all are in the arena wanting to make this topic of psychological safety work. So I guess what's really cool and right for us is that we have this conversation out in the open, because one of the really most important behaviors that psychological safety helps with is conflict, but constructive conflict. And in the words of one of my favorite authors, Patrick Lencioni, someone who's done an awful lot of great work on teams, if you've got trust, and because we know we're all in the arena and we know each other, we have that trust, then conflict becomes an opportunity where you can really get that out in the open. And it's just about nothing more than the pursuit of truth and the pursuit of the very best solution. And that's all of us really want. But having this discussion out in the open is actually a really exciting place to be for the people who are, like us, passionate about psychological safety and wanting to make that difference and show how important constructive conflict is as part of being in a psychologically safe team.
Yes, it is to a degree a stretch. We don't really have enough conflict for it to be constructive conflict here. It's not even a divergence of opinions necessarily. It's just a question of how we place it. And for the record and behind the scenes, there's no rift in the midst of the community or anything of the sort. We all completely agree. We're just off a call with Per a second ago. So we're all on the same page. We all want to see psychological safety being the number one thing that's being worked on teams around the universe, if we want to see performance and if we want to see people that are happy and are having a dynamic that's desirable. So for the record, everyone's dedicating their every breath to the same cause, which is we all deserve to work in psychologically safe teams that are highly performant. That said, we cannot and will not do that until we start measuring it. That could be contentious. I'm happy with that, with that conflict any day. It needs measuring. People need to see the effects of their efforts if they're going to better this in a sustainable fashion. So whether it's us or someone else, get yourself software to measure what is happening from the point of view of the behaviors of your teams, and then help them make more of the good behaviors. And so we will talk to you next week. Again, with or without real or manufactured conflict, the point we're all making is sit down, think of what it really means, think of what matters, and try to bring that to your team one way or another. Again, there's not on this channel, but on the other one, there's hundreds, literally hundreds of videos of ideas and suggestions and strategies of things that you could do with your team. If you're a client, just go back to your playbook, focus on what needs doing next, forget the quid pro quo on psychological safety, and you will just see your performance go through the roof. Thanks a lot. See you next week. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.